Hey y'all, Iric Sky here, back again in my studio, and this is my version 2.0 studio. But this is my Schwinn IC4 from 2020. This is my Schwinn IC4 that I purchased in 2020. Check out my unboxing video, my assembly video, those videos that I filmed in 2020 and see for yourself. It was super easy to assemble. It's been a great experience, and just like an original review, an initial review, I feel that it's super important to post follow-up reviews as well. So this is my 2023 Schwinn IC4 review after using the Schwinn IC4 for, well, let's see, it's 2023, so that's 21, 22, 23. Using it for about 3 years, man. And, I can be really nitpicky, and I'm going to, because I'm not sugarcoating these reviews. The only thing I've done inadvertently, see this little piece right here where you put your tablet, that soft foam, inadvertently I scratched it. I got aggressive and put my iPad back on there and scratched it. That's the only problem I've had with it. I've still got the factory plastic cover on the logo, factory plastic cover on the built-in computer. And as you can see, as I spin my pedals there, built-in computer still works like a boss. No problems at all, no electronic issues, no build quality issues, no noise issues. That's one of the great things about this bike. That's one of the great things that makes this bike better than any other exercise bike on the market, in my opinion, is that it uses magnetic resistance. See those little red things in there? Those are magnets, which means that the resistance control of this bike, whether you want to make pedaling harder, you would turn to the right, indicated by the plus sign. Or if you want to make pedaling easier, you would turn to the left or counterclockwise, indicated by the minus sign. And the beauty of this bike is that since it's using magnetics, or magnetic resistance, I should say, there's not anything physically touching this flywheel, which means that the lifespan of this bike should be radically enhanced. Because most inferior exercise bikes that you'll find on the market, they use what are called friction pads. And those friction pads, they wear out under time, sometimes over time, sometimes they stink, sometimes they're hard or expensive to replace. A lot of times you get an exercise bike, the bike may be discontinued, and you may not be able to find parts for it. And if that part's a friction pad, if you use a friction pad bike, well, you're in a world of hurt. Because if you can't control the resistance of the bike is useless. So that's one of the things that makes the IC4 so great, is that you've got magnetic resistance. It's quiet, it's consistent. I get on this bike today in January of 2023, I get the same predictable resistance that I had when the bike was brand new in 2020. So, it's that magnetic resistance is a huge selling point for this bike. Now, not to bad name other bikes, but I'm sure you know what they are. Especially if you scroll back to 2020, you saw those TV commercials, and they were trying to sell you a bike and a subscription and all this, that, and the other. This bike does not require the use of an app. You can hop on this. You can strap on the included heart rate monitor if you want to, or you can ride it without the heart rate monitor. I don't use the heart rate monitor. I just use my Apple Watch, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute. But you could hop on this bike. You could stare at a wall if you wanted to. You could watch a TV if you wanted to. You could stare out a window if you're really fancy and you got a good view. This bike is easy to use without requiring an app. No subscription required. You could buy this bike. You could use it and not have to pay to ride it. And that's important, because today, and maybe I'm just old school, and I don't know. Y'all comment below and tell me. But today I feel like everything I buy, somebody's trying to sell me a subscription. I don't want a subscription. I do not want a subscription. I want to buy something. I want to be done with that purchase. I don't want to prolong the purchase. I want to be done. I want to enjoy my purchase and not have to pay to enjoy it. So that's one of the other great things that makes this bike so great, is that you don't have to have a subscription. Now, if you want to use a subscription, there's a lot of options. Now, there's an app that you can use for this. You can use the Peloton app. So that's an option. That's a paid subscription. You can use, if you want a cycling simulator, you can use an app called Zwift or Ruby. Not Ruby, but FulGaz. You could use those. You could use what I use now, and again, I enjoy using this app because I'm deep within the Apple ecosystem, but I use Apple Fitness Plus. So basically what I do, I scroll my TV towards me. I've got to check out my separate video where I show you how I set up my TV on the cart. But I turn the TV towards me, and then I can listen to the Apple Fitness Plus instructor and get an even more motivating workout by doing that than I would if I was just working out with, watching a YouTube video or watching a TV show, which you can do that as well if you want to. The main thing is that you keep yourself motivated. You don't just get on this for a few minutes and say, I'm done. No, you need to get on it. You need to push yourself. You need to sweat. Speaking of sweating, that's why I've got this mat down here, because now I'm on a cheap, this is a glorified fancy floor. All it is it's a concrete slab that I painted with some paint. So it kind of looks fancy, but it's not. It's just a concrete slab with a layer of cheap paint on top of it. So now if you're in a carpeted area, you would want to get a mat like this. And again, expand this video's description. Click the link there. I've got the bike link, the mat, the shoes, like I use everything. But you would want to get the mat for a few reasons. Number one, if you're working out like you should, you're probably going to be sweating a lot. That sweat's going to drip, 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 drip. And if you've got carpet, that sweat's going to get into that carpet and it's going to dry. You're probably not going to have a carpet cleaner with shampoo and shampoo that carpet frequently, which means that carpet is going to start to stink. So it would behoove you to get the mat when you buy the bike. So again, I've linked both within this video's description. Also, it can help with noise. But due to the nature of this bike being magnetic resistance, there's next to no noise. So, if you're living in an apartment or a house where somebody's below you, that's another value add of this bike. It's very quiet. So, it's something that probably is not going to disturb anyone, from a noise perspective. So very easy to move, as I mentioned previously. Not within this video, but my other videos. Subscribe and check out my IC4 playlist. These wheels, they make it very easy to move. Now, those wheels, I will caution you, if I had a fancy floor, I probably wouldn't roll it because they might scratch the floor. But in a cheap situation like I've got here, I wouldn't worry about it. I roll it. Now, you can also, because this bike is so narrow, it'll fit through most any interior door. So a lot of people like myself, you'll probably find that you can pick it up, and you may not be, everybody's different strength level, but you can pick it up and carry it. But the beauty of this is, if you're not quite strong enough to carry it as it sits, you can take the handlebar assembly off, you can take the seat post and the seat off, which means at that point, all you would be carrying is what you see there, so this bottom part. So not as heavy. Easy to move around. If you're in a situation where your workout area is not where you want to store the bike while it's not in use, this is easy to move from one room to another. Again, it'll probably fit through most any interior door. It's just a great design. The pedals on this bike, exceptional. A few things I want to point out that you may not see when you check the link within this video's description, because it may not be vividly spelled out and explained. So these pedals, if you like to use the shoes that clip to the bike pedal, to be confusing, they're called clipless pedals, but these are clipless pedals right here. But the shoes, they clip in and improve your pedaling performance. Personally, I'm a pansy. I had an extremely bad accident a long time ago on a mountain bike with clipless pedals. I went over my handlebars. The bike was still strapped to my feet. I could have broken my back. I could have broken my neck, but I'm still upright. And since I'm still upright, I am horrified when it comes to the idea of strapping my feet, my shoes, to any bike, even if it's an indoor bike. So that's a personal phobia that I have. You may like to use those, and that's perfectly fine. Do what makes you feel best. On the other side, I've got the toe cages. That's what I use. Now, I don't just use the toe cages with standard shoes. I've got these shoes right here that I use, and you can find them linked within this video's description, because they've got a flat and just good feeling sole for pedaling this bike. I use them exclusively for this bike. I don't walk around outdoors with them. I use them exclusively for this bike so that when I'm working out, I get the best pedaling performance possible. And something else you may not have noticed, see the pedals themselves? A lot of pedals like you see on mountain bikes that you ride outdoors, typically this piece and that piece is attached by a screw. It's a cheap design. This appears to be a solid pedal construction. Again, just further reiterating that this is a bike that'll likely last for a long time if you take good care of it. Another thing that's super important, a lot of inferior exercise bikes are chain driven. So there's a bicycle chain. Bicycle chains present a lot of problems. Number one, you got to keep them lubricated. Number two, they're noisy. This is not a bicycle chain. This is called a belt-driven bike, belt-driven indoor exercise bike. So inside of that, there's not a chain, there's a belt. Think of a fan belt or something on a vehicle, that type of thing. So, I mean, Schwinn's done everything right down to the seat or the saddle. Cyclists will call this a saddle, and they'll give you a "I'm better than you" expression if you call it a seat. They're like, "Man, it's not a seat, that's a saddle, dude. What do you know about cycling?" Okay, well, whether you call it a seat or a saddle, I don't care. This, for me, feels good on my butt. It's firm, but it's also got a little bit of cushion. So it's perfect for me. The good thing, though, if you find this to not be ergonomically perfect, it's a standard bicycle saddle. So what you could do, depending upon your abilities, if you're not too savvy when it comes to bicycle maintenance, you could simply pop this off, pop the seat post off along with the saddle, and you could take it to a bike shop and say, "Hey man, I've got this indoor exercise bike. Here's the saddle that I have that came with it. I really want a different size or shape or, hardness or whatever. What do you recommend?" And, most any bike shop, since this is a standard bicycle saddle, a standard bicycle seat, most any bicycle shop would probably be able to sell you a seat and swap this one out. So, that's another value add of this bike. You're not married to using the seat that comes with this bike. It's a standard bicycle saddle, so you could use whatever you like to put your buttocks on. And then this right here, these are 2 water bottle cages. These cages are very nice. Again, a semi-hard, not a plastic that's a brittle plastic. It's like a hard, more hard than soft. It's the same as the handlebars. It's a very nice coating. What I like about that is that it's easy to clean. When I get done working out and I'm sweating and I've got sweat all over this, I get a towel that's damp and I thoroughly wipe all this down. Haven't had any problems. No structural degradation of the handlebars or the water bottle cages. Again, Schwinn has done an exceptional job with this bike. We haven't even talked about price, because I don't feel that, even a follow-up review, I don't think that putting price at the forefront is important, because here's the thing. If you're getting an exercise bike and you're serious about your personal health, and trying not to get too fat. I mean, I'm kind of a bigger dude, but I haven't gotten too fat because I work out every day. But if you're serious about your health, this is a great tool, a great enabler that may enable you to be healthier. Again, nothing's guaranteed in life except death and taxes. But, this may enable you to lead a healthier lifestyle. So when you put price into that and you say, okay, well, and again, expand this video's description and click the link there. I mean, you're probably going to be surprised at how affordable it is. And again, there's no subscription required. You can use this in conjunction with a lot of subscription apps if you choose to do so, but it's not required. You could buy it and never pay another cent unless something broke and you had to repair it. Again, I've used this since 2020. It's January 2023. I haven't had to repair anything. So, I've had a great experience with it. But yeah, it's when you take that into consideration, then you say, okay, well, if you get this, you're not paying for a gym membership. A gym membership is typically a an annual or monthly term that, continuing to pay to use other people's equipment that may or may not be well maintained. So, this is a bike that you own, that you use in your place where you live, and, you take good care of it. So when you factor all that in, and then you expand this video's description and look at the price, it becomes very affordable. And again, you shouldn't put a price on health. I mean, not saying that riding a bike can necessarily make someone healthier, but in my opinion, and again, from my experience, I know if I didn't cycle, if I didn't ride bikes as much as I do, that I'd be really fat. And I don't want to be fat. I mean, maybe you want to be fat, and that's perfectly acceptable. I don't care. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to tell you about this bike in 2023. And again, I could not be more stoked by the performance of this bike. I mean, and subscribe to my channel. Check out my old videos. I've got some old exercise equipment that I featured on my channel, and you can see just from that equipment that I used how inferior it is in comparison to this. Also, some people say, well, man, I ride a road bike right now. Why don't I just get a bicycle trainer? Well, I've done that. I had a really nice, back before texting while driving became so prevalent rather. I had a road bike, carbon fiber road bike, super nice. I'd get out, ride 30 miles. It was great. Felt good, wind in the hair. But then I got hit by a car, and it was somebody, distracted driver while texting, and that took me off the roads. But even if I possess the confidence level to also still road bike, ride bicycles outdoors on the road, I still probably would not go with an exercise bike trainer. And we're gonna hold that discussion for a separate video. So subscribe to my channel and check out my other video where I explain why I feel, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but IC4 versus indoor exercise traditional bicycle trainer. And I'm going to explain why I think one is better than the other. But we'll talk about that in another video. I don't want to go into that too much within this one. So, the bottom line is this. To summarize, number one, in my opinion, this is the best bike on the market today, the best indoor exercise bike on the market today. And again, you can expand this video's description, click the link there to find the bike, the shoes like I use. My wife's got some shoes too. That's why I've got 4. I don't have 4 feet. I'm not that cool. I've only got 2 feet. But yeah, and then the mat like I use, you can find it all there. Also, subscribe to my channel. Check out my IC4 videos playlist. You can see my IC4 videos from 2020 until present. So present being January of 2023 when I filmed this video and posted this video. So, I'm not one of those guys on the internet saying, it's the best thing since sliced bread and gravy. Nope, that's not me. That's not me. I'm posting this video as a follow-up to what has been a very positive experience, an extremely positive experience. So I could go on, and I could try to sell you on the idea that this is the best exercise bike on the market today. But admittedly, once you feel it in your hands, once you've taken the time to assemble it and found how easy it was to assemble, check out my assembly video and see for yourself. Once you've assembled one, once you've got it in your hands, and once you start to see that gut reduce in size, if you're working out and it's enabling you to lose weight, which hopefully it would, then you'll be like, man, why didn't I get an IC4 sooner? So again, thanks for your viewership. If you have questions, comment below and I'll try to respond within a future video. And again, subscribe, ring that bell, and check out my IC4 videos playlist. I've already got, I don't know how many videos for the IC4, but check them all out and let me know if you have questions. But most importantly, again, please, 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 if you're considering getting an IC4, expand this video's description and then click the link there to find the IC4, the mat, the shoes like I use. And if there's anything else you're looking for that you don't see listed there, just ask, and I'll be more than happy to try to find and post a link for you. Thank y'all so much. And again, it's January 2023 when I'm filming this. I wish all of y'all best of luck with your fitness goals. And if you're looking for something that may better enable you to exceed those goals, this could be one of the tools. This could be one of the tools. So thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRix Guy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.